Okay. Hi, Zep. How are you? So awesome to see
Good.
you.
Right? Good to see you
Wonderful.
too.
Everyone, if you don't know Zep, this is a good friend of ours. Zep has been a good friend of ours for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And Zep Tepi, and she's also known as an alchemist. And she delves in the left-hand path, correct? The left-hand path. And I mean, she's open to many paths, but she specializes in the left-hand path to get certain work done. So, and she's also become a really good friend, not just just someone that helps us with magical needs. She's a really good friend of ours. And we met her through William. And he's amazing as well with what he does. He does a lot of psionics and radionics work as well, and traditional magic, which we're going to be getting on. We're going to be bringing him on board as well sometime maybe this week or next week.
Yeah.
But yes, what we're talking about, this is so interesting. And the reason why we're bringing her up is because my brother, Devin, had a serious situation with a custody battle. Now, a lot of you, by the way, I'm Dr. Joanna Wells. This is my husband, Darren Wells.
Hello.
And I forgot to introduce. I usually forget a lot of times.
Yeah, when we get so excited, we ended up just going straight into it.
We go straight into it. Sorry, but and we've been teaching our students to become secure creditors and operate as basically as sovereigns. Sovereigns and against government tyranny. And especially, I've had a major success with child support. I was able to get rid of child support. I stood my ground. And I have a whole story about that. And eventually, when I stood my ground, I was able to get my passports, everything, and be able to travel the world. I never had an issue since. And I utilized my own magic as well, along with my documents, and it did work. And because of that, I have been extremely passionate on this path to help as many people as possible, that if they cannot afford an attorney, because back in the day, I was flat broke. I mean, I was couch surfing from one place to another. I mean, literally, when my ex-husband, threw me out and said, for another woman who was a friend of mine, okay, him and his parents got me on a plane and flew me to California, and he was from North Carolina. And basically, I was a housewife. The only work I had was tarot reading. That is my heart. I still love to tarot read and read. I'm a clairvoyant. So I went through a lot of hell with that. And that's what got me on the path to sovereignty and learning how to become a secure creditor and all that stuff. And, but as far as custody battles goes, it's very difficult. I was not successful with a custody battle, okay? I had I tried everything that I could with the paperwork, and it just did not work. However, it got rid of the child support. But I was able to help others with child custody issues. And a good friend of mine, actually one good friend of mine, but that was years ago when she needed my help, and I was trying to work the magic for myself, and it helped her, but it didn't help me, okay? So, there was a lot of things that happened. So, when a lot of my students come to me and they say, hey, you know what, can you help me with a custody issue? I don't, I refuse it. I'll say, look, we'll do our best to help you with the child support situation, because it's all debt. We're dealing with debt situation, but anything to do with child custody matters is very, very delicate. And I don't know the situation between the parents, you know what I mean? So I decided to just stand back. Okay. And I don't deal with that. However, Zep Tepi is very good in this area, and she actually helped my brother. And my brother, he does very well financially, by the way. He does very, very well. And the situation was his ex-girlfriend he was with for some time, a very short amount of time. And she ended up taking off with my nephew out of the blue. I guess they didn't get along. That's fine. She took off with him, and then they just could not get along. They could not get along. And then years down the road, she basically stopped having my brother contact him for many, many years, about 10 years. And he's been trying to get a hold of them, trying to talk to my nephew all these years. And he didn't see him since he was in diapers. He was a year old. It was horrible. And later on, we ended up finding out that the Alaskan Child Protective Services, which was a good thing, this happened, okay? They called my brother and they said, look, are you the father of this child, and we found him and his sister in the back of a car in Alaska. And it was freezing cold, snowing, and they were in their underwear. And the mother flipped out in the store and said, I don't want these kids anymore. Okay.
Wow.
Now, I don't want to come out and judge because, we mothers, we go through a lot. Okay. And sometimes if we don't get that help that we need from other people, it can really weigh down on us. And sometimes we can go through a flippy mode. Okay. And her brother killed himself. So she went through a lot of hell as well. So I'm not standing up for her either, but at the same time, she went through a lot. But before that, she was really, I guess she wasn't, they didn't get along and she left for some other guy. She was just not very stable mentally. She was very young too, very young at the time. And, but at that time, she could have called my brother and said, hey, I can't handle it. I do it with my ex-husband too. Not handle it, but hey, you know what? I need time off. I'm going to send the kids over. You know what I mean? She could not even do that with my brother. She was very selfish. And then she ended up we found out that she was getting into heroin, which is the worst drug you could ever think of. So finally, the CPS took the kids away from the mother, and it was only him and her that had the son. She had this daughter from another relationship. So what happened was, it was very difficult to try to get in contact, but by some amazing miracle, they took his son away from his grandpa, which is the ex-girlfriend's father, because they said, hey, you know what, you guys are all unstable, and then brought her over to to another grandma, which is not blood related. It was only blood related through the daughter.
Mhm.
And with that, my brother was able to have communications, and he was able to move over there to a specific state and get to contact his son and everything. But things were looking really bad because the mother started coming in and saying, no, he needs to get vaccinated. He needs this COVID vaccine, trying to start a lot of hell. But at the same time, mentally, she left her kids out to almost die in freezing cold, and she really doesn't have a say, but they do respect the mother in a lot of ways. So that's when I asked Zep Tepi, not Zep Tepi.
Yeah,
not there today. I'm sorry, Zep Tepi, to help, and because it was a very desperate situation. And my brother was like, hey, whatever you can do with paperwork, I'll do it. And I go, look, Devin, in this situation, I would love to say that you get your paperwork and you can help him, but it's going to take a lot more than that. This is a very serious situation. And I am a believer in magic. I'm also been a practitioner of magic for many, many years. And I know the miracles that has happened in my life, as well as many others' lives. And I said, the only way that this can happen to make the courts favor you even better is you got to go through magic. I'm sorry. And he's very skeptical, my brother. He's a businessman. Yes, he's aware of things like that, but he doesn't like to put his energy into it. That's not his world. His world is skateboarding, dealing with fighters, doing hats and merchandise for them. And, he gets a really good amount of work every month and doing hats. And he also did the Brotherhood for Fast and the Furious. He did those shirts, he did the design. So he's very well known. He even did the Monster drink logo as well.
nice.
Many years ago, before he started moving up. So, and this was this big freaking challenge that he just could not do. And for about, I don't know how many years, 10 years living in Mexico, he had to just take a break. And he came down here to Cancun, and he decided, you know what? And he was really not financially not well off at all. He was really struggling. And here it's so cheap. You can get like a 2-bedroom villa for $300, $150 you can get.
Mhm.
So living like that, saving, he had to do for many, many years because he had to fight off child support. But more than anything, he had to see his kids. So I'm going to have Zep take it away. I'm so happy for you to be here. I just wanted to give everyone a background what was going on, the situation, and tell everyone how long you've been a practitioner of magic.
But before we go into that, though, I just wanted to say that thanks to Zep,
Yes.
she did her thing,
Yes.
and it obviously helped my wife's brother.
Yes,
And obviously
he's got
now
full custody
he's
now.
got full custody. Everything worked, even though things were looking against his odds, because these days they're always looking to, well, if the mother's not good, then fine, we'll go, screw the dad, then we're going to have to put this child into some kind of other care. But thanks to Zep, obviously it went in his favor. So
Yes.
do you want to explain it? Well, not your craft exactly how he did it, because that's your thing, that's your special secret. But just give a bit of a background on how you did it and
First,
what you did.
about her background, about how she got into magic.
Okay, we'll do that.
Please, as well.
Okay, so I've been doing it since 2011. I started learning magic when I actually entered into doing alchemy. The school, I think, had closed down already because something had happened, and then I didn't get a notice until way later after we graduated that something happened to the main headmaster, and then the school was pretty much no more. But during that time when we had entered, further along into the learning is when they started to divide everybody up into groups, and then they had to pick what type of magical system they wanted to go with. They didn't have to pick all of them, they just had to pick one to start with. And so we picked one, everybody picked something different. There was some people that didn't want to pick it at all. Those people that didn't want to pick it, unfortunately, that their learning had ended. So they weren't able to go any further, but we got training through that. And then for advanced, we ended up having to find our own person that would actually train us, because the guild at the time didn't have enough staffing to do that on top of the alchemy. So we ended up having to find a person that was well advanced in magic. And it took me a while. It took me over 6 months to actually find somebody that knew what they were doing. And so then that's how that started. It was with a woman that lives in Canada. But I had been doing it since 2011. We started off with the Goesha system. For people that don't know what that is, that's basically using the Goesha seals along with the Solomon seals, if you use those.
Yeah.
And the majority of them are demons, although there's different types. And then I was also doing hoodoo at the same time. I was also enrolled with, my brain's not working tonight. Oh my God, I can't think of the name. Well, it'll come back to me later, but I was enrolled with this other society. And then I was enrolled with another one with the OTO. And,
wow.
and so then we got our Enochian training from there. It wasn't the full blown thing, even though I was there for years. You can only learn so much in so much time. But I did learn that from there. And I just kept incorporating different magic as I went along. Once I felt like I knew enough of what I was doing, I would wouldn't throw away anything, but I would just move on to the next thing.
Right.
So we fast forward to now. And I've already learned a lot from back then till now. But with your brother's situation, we really didn't know how it was going to turn out. I was getting kind of nervous because I'm not really sure what these people are thinking. You know, a lot of the justice systems are corrupt.
Yes.
We have corrupt judges, we have corrupt police, we have corrupt prosecutor office, we have corrupt everything here, you know. So
yeah.
So I was like, well, you know, I'm doing my thing on this end for him. But I was like, I can't see from here to the courthouse. I can't see these people. I can't see what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're planning. And so that's where, you have your spirits that work with you, help you along the way with different things. And I sent them there, and I made sure that this was going to turn in his favor and not turn into a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so they're very skilled at mind control. They have controlled a lot of police from just saying, there's just nothing going on here, and we're just going to go and you have a nice day. Because that's all you really want to hear.
Yeah.
And so it's a blessing to have them, because a lot of people don't have that. And if it's serious, you're going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just glad that it turned out, well for your brother, and that everything went good. And I put my all into it, and my spirits put their all into it. And so it had a happy ending.
Yeah, extremely happy ending. He cried. He called me and he started crying. He goes, "I have my son." But it was a crazy turn of events though, because around that time, my brother, he had to leave the specific state for a little bit, which is Arizona. He had to leave to go visit my mother and my father in California at the time. And during that time, he didn't know if he had full custody at the time yet. He just only was allowed to have him over a certain days, and he would stay at the grandmother's, right? Step-grandmother's anyway. And it was a heavy time, Zep. He caught the COVID. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He drives on the way. He drove on the way to California to go see my father. He's already sick, and then by the time he sees my dad, he's already got the COVID. And my dad helped him out and said, "Look, take this medicine," because my father almost died of COVID. This is very serious. He almost died because he could barely breathe. He couldn't even walk. And then his brother came in to his business and said, "Here, take these pills." And that was it. I'm not going to say anything because, we're going to be on YouTube. So, but within 30 minutes, he got better. And he was already practically going to die. Okay. But my brother took those same pills, and he didn't feel like he was getting better. I think when you catch it, if you don't take it at a certain time, or if you take it by the time that you're about ready to feel like you're going to die, then it's going to work, or you feel the difference. But I guess my brother waited a little too long, and when he took it, it was like, it doesn't really, not much difference. Not a miracle pill. I don't know. He says that crap really kicked my butt all over the place. He said it was bad. So he had to wait for a bit, for about a week to heal. And then he went to go see my mother, who was in a hospice, because at the time she was ready. She didn't want to eat. She just wanted to go. She wanted to just move on. And she has had a battle with horrible mental problems for many, many years. And so he went to, he was finally getting better, but by the time he got there, my mother was already very ill, and I heard her coughing like horribly, like she was coughing badly. And so he went through a lot of hell, a lot of this shit going on. And then he was hoping and praying that something would happen with his son. And out of the freaking blue, he gets a call. After he leaves my mother at the hospice, he drives on the way home from California to freaking, Southern California to Arizona. And he gets this freaking call saying, "Hey, by the way, the judge has awarded that you will have, that Isaac is to be placed with you." And he didn't know how to act. He's crying because our mother was about to die, and then yet he's in joy and tears and joy that he has custody. He didn't know what to think. So he's on his way to Arizona, and then he says, "You know what, Joanna, Mom is not going to last very long. So if you want to come and see her, I'm going to let you know she can go any day." But by the time I got that call, he was he was focusing on the custody. He couldn't believe it. He said this was just unbelievable. And then out of the blue, the next day after that, we get a call that my mother passed away. And we're like, so many things happening at one time. Talk about a tower moment. Like, when you have a tower moment with with the tarot card, the tower moment, catastrophe,
And
everything
everything's falling.
falling apart, right? But at the same time, something really happy emerged, and my brother got his son. And in April, they're going to completely complete it 100% because he's working with 2 states, you know, Arizona and Alaska. So finally, they're going to complete it, and they'll let him go, and he can just move on. So
Right.
that was a big deal for my brother to come out asking us for help. It was like, wow, you know, so you don't have this 100%, even though she was out of the picture because they took the kids away from her. She can no longer, I mean, she can still visit the kids, but she can no longer have custody of them. But she still had some sort of say either way. And my brother was trying to get over that and say, hey, you know what? I'm very financially stable. I'm financially well off. She's
Right.
just starting a partial part-time job at Home Depot, for crying out loud. He's got his own corporate company and he's making a lot of money a month. So he's like, there's no competition. And she took him away from me all these years. So, and they were asking Isaac, are you happy with your dad? You know, they come in and they check and everything, social services, and he's completely more than happy. It's like one day, you know, you're living this life that you're really, you know, poor and broke, you're falling apart. You know, your mother leaves you, your mother's just lost it. And then all of a sudden here comes the rich dad, pops right up and says, hey dad, hey son, I'm going to buy you anything you want. What do you want? Let's go shopping for Christmas. Takes him out and gets him anything he wants, just spoils the crap out of him because of all these years he was not able to see him. And finally it happened. So I'm very grateful to you, Zep. And I knew, I just felt it. I said, if you can't go through this, you know, you've gone through, let's say, you know, the lawyers, you know, if you don't know about being a secure creditor or sovereign, you know, you've gone through the lawyers, you've gone through every freaking aspect that you can. But when you are met with so much resistance and you really don't know it doesn't matter whether you're sovereign or not, or you got your paperwork, it doesn't matter. When you get to that situation, especially with a custody battle, that's when you turn, it's like some will turn to God or turn to the all, right? You will turn to something spiritual and you will pray for that to happen. And sometimes prayers are heard and sometimes they're not. But our prayer was heard with Zep. I'm really grateful. You know, I'm really grateful, girl. I mean, it really changed everything. And my brother now, he sent me a video of, and we're going to put it in the end of the video, that he was taking his son out in the Corvette, just driving around in a Corvette. And he's so happy. And my nephew's just smiling and they're together and they're happy, you know. But it's serious.
That's good.
Magic is the way, bro. It really is.
Yes, it is.
People need to understand it, but because everybody's been scared against it these days, like, oh, don't play with that, or avoid this, or voodoo, what? But little do they know, obviously, that is the main power.
Oh, let's hear your little doggy, because we're hearing some growling.
Oh, my little doggy.
God, he must be a star too. Oh, he must be a star also. He's like, hey, I want to get on there.
Hey, you're jumping on me. Get down, Susie.
So pretty. Hi, baby. Oh, they just love it. So sweet.
He's a puppy still, even though he's big. He's still a puppy.
Oh, he seems like a little puppy. So cute.
He's like a pony.
A little pony.
Puppy. Look at where his feet. Look how big he is.
Oh, he's so huge. He's a big boy.
Yes, he's half pit bull and half German shepherd.
Oh, wow. What an interesting mix.
This kid that keeps crying, he's part Chihuahua and part Terrier.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
There goes the phone.
Are you okay?
He dropped the phone.
Oh, goodness.
Right? Pulled the charging cord out of the phone and went flying.
So, Zep, I was wondering if you can talk more about some of the other successes that you've had.
Yes, there is. Well, that social worker, she still never came up.
Go ahead and talk about her. What happened?
She's still missing. So it was like quite a few years back now. I don't know, maybe it's like 7 years ago that happened or something, but it was about 7 years, 6 years that this happened, where me and Caden's dad, which is my youngest son, was having issues, you know, because he has mental health issues, and he keeps going round and round with this stuff, and, you know, in jail, in prison, and it's kind of like a vicious cycle now.
Wow.
And so I don't remember exactly what happened. It was something about Steve disciplining Caden, and they didn't like how he was doing it, and so then somebody ended up calling on him, and I don't remember who that was, but it created all these problems. And then it was like towards winter when this was happening, and some skinny white blonde chick that was a little bit shorter than me, really, really skinny though, was at my door, and she was a social worker, and we were talking. And normally I don't let them inside my house, but it was so cold. The wind was blowing really hard, and I was freezing in the doorway. Like I told her to come in because I said, I have to shut the door. I cannot stand here like this. And so she came in, and she told me that the stuff that was going on about Steve, and that they were called and blah, blah. And I didn't even know what the hell was going on, you know? I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Right.
And so she told me that she wanted Caden to stay here in the home with me, and she wanted me to, you know, keep custody of Caden. And then we were talking, and then she left. And then she meets with Steve, I guess maybe the next day or something. And she tells Steve that she doesn't want Caden in the home, and she wants him to get custody. So she was playing that type of game.
Oh.
So shortly after that, she went missing. And then the state started to look for her because they said she was an employee of the state, and that they needed to know where she's at. I said, I don't know where the fuck she's at. I don't even know that she was missing, because I didn't know she was missing. I really didn't. I did not know one was missing, and they had to replace her with another worker. But that worker didn't really come over, and so they were honed in on trying to find this woman. And then it started going weeks, and then it started going months. And then they had called me and said that, you know, they just want to know what happened to the employee. They don't know where she went. She just disappeared. She never collected her paycheck. She never said that she was, you know, leaving or switching jobs, and we don't know where she's at. I said, look, dude, I don't know where the fuck she is, okay? I said, right now I'm on vacation in Las Vegas, and I'm trying to freaking calm down from all the shit that has happened.
Wow,
I don't know where she is.
They called you to ask where she was.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And
Well, just in case you did something.
did you do
Right.
do something?
One of my spirits went ahead and did something about it, and that's when she had went missing, and I didn't know she was missing.
Oh my God.
I got so mad, and so then she's still missing, and so they're just probably not going to end up finding her. But
Still
it's not.
missing.
I'm not the one who did it, so
You probably really pissed someone off. I'll tell you right now, because I mean, you go around and you go and you tell the opposing party, oh, you need to have custody, and then tell you, and something isn't right. It sounds like she had a mental problem herself.
yeah, she did. And so she went missing, and that was the end of that. And it took forever to kind of close the case because they could not find her. I told them, I said, you just can't leave the case open because she's missing. Like that, you know what I mean? Like she's only there to inquire. You can't leave it open because you're searching for her.
Right.
That's a different case in itself.
Yeah.
Right. So I said, you need to open a case on just her and find out where she's at. And so they had to close my case because they were at that point, they weren't even really caring about what had happened. They were more concerned about where she went.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Yes. So she was gone, man. And we've had other things where, like, my other son had an aide help him do things, and the company itself issues. And so you know, things started getting kind of weird, and then they kept calling different people, making reports just randomly, like just weird stuff that wasn't really pertaining to me or to anything, just to kind of stir up trouble.
Right.
And so I said, well, I'm going to know that he did this when I say this. And so I told him that I would be going out of the state on this a certain week to go on vacation, because I said I have the right to do that.
Right.
And I'm just letting you know now, because you know, I just need you to know now, that way there isn't a problem later when the aide comes to work with Nesto. And so he waits for that day to come, or that week to come, and then he calls DHS and tells them that I'm in Las Vegas, and I don't know exactly how he phrased it or what he said, but he just told them that I wasn't there. So they come over to the house, and guess what happens when they knock on the door? Guess who answers the door?
Who?
Me.
Whoa.
And I told her, I know who called you, because I only told one person where I was going. And so I said, there's no need to be here, because this was a setup and you were part of it.
Oh,
so
my
they got
goodness.
worried. It was actually two women. And so they just were standing there, and they asked a few questions, and then they just left, because at that point they felt stupid.
Oh my.
Because there wasn't anything to go off of. They were trying to right. So that guy there, he's probably still with the company, I don't know, but I'm still going to be dealing with him, because he's going to be getting in trouble for a whole lot of stuff. But he's not even in this state. This was back in Oregon on this. But it's crazy what people do, and they think they're just going to, like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm just going to plan this. And it's just really demonic. You're going to plan something when the parent leaves to try to get a vacation and try to set me up.
That's a government thing. Isn't that crazy, right? And people think, oh, it's the government, but they're private entities, the private foreign entities to do this. And you got to see the corruption in this. And they talk about, oh, so much corruption in Mexico, and there is a lot of corruption here. But there's so much corruption in the United States. I mean, hello.
Everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
Where there's governance or government and controlled by the government, and creating all these other agencies to control the population, like they're a bunch of animals, you know?
Right.
That's insane. You went through a lot.
Yes, I did. That was only a small piece of it. There's actually a lot of more stuff, but we'll be here for years sitting on Zoom. But we'll age dramatically sitting here if I have to tell you everything. But we do have another new case going on out here in Ohio.
Oh, tell us. We got to hear this.
We have Nazi neighbors.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. That'd be interesting.
So they're buddy with the police, and when they kept trespassing on the property and we called the police said, even though you have a case and you have evidence, if you call us again, then we're going to have to give you a citation. Because they're friends with these people.
Oh my goodness.
So I said, okay, I will go to the prosecutioner's office and go above your head and fry them that way.
Awesome.
But the girl did run across the street to the neighbor over here. So unfortunately, that neighbor is going to have to go down. And the girl lives somewhere in the alley, and we haven't figured out where. But you know what? I have a special app in my phone that if I have your name, it can pull information about what you own, what type of car you have, what type of house you live in, all your social media websites. So I'm going to be doing that. I was supposed to do it today, but I had a headache half of the day, and I just barely got rid of that headache now. But either sometime tonight or this week coming up, somewhere between now and Wednesday, I'm going to find out what house she's in, and then she is done. Permanently done. We also have neighbors that own the house on the corner that is abandoned. And they have also put signs up on our house, trespassing and doing all types of crazy radical stuff, weird shit. And so
Whoa.
they're going to be going down too, because I found their social media sites and where they actually live.
Good for
So
you.
that's all I need. So it's, yeah, it's
Awesome.
going down. It's going down, girl. I told people to mind their own damn business, and it seems like they don't want to do that. I guess they don't have enough excitement, but
Yeah.
they're going to get a whole bunch of excitement and then some coming to a theater near them.
So they might be, she might disappear as well. She's going to be disappearing as well. Yeah, we get some trolls as well. Like I sent you some information, and my husband, he's really good with that too, and locating people.
Yes.
I sent you the information, a real piece of crap troll, you know, a lot of harassment people harasses, and, you know, because they know that you're moving forward, you're kicking ass. And I mean, it's like, we don't have time for this. We're like in our 40s, Chica. We don't need to play games. We just freaking come up spiritually. And I'm on the left-hand path as well. I had a pact with Azazel for many, many years.
Yeah.
Every year I do my yearly pact with him since 2014, I think. And he's just made my life amazing. He's made our lives absolutely amazing. And if anyone, you know, fucks with me, easily, I could just contact him and he just handles it. It's freaking awesome. And I have my stories too in another time. But thank you so much, Chica, for coming and appearing on this show tonight. I'm really, really happy, and we're looking forward to doing more magical shows like this, because it's important. People need to learn about magic. And not just the fluffy bunny white magic. That's fine, but you're not going to get anything done until you start moving on to the left-hand path as well, because the left-hand path is when I actually saw things happening.
How about we all do a show when we're all dressed up?
Yeah.
In our magical attire, and then we can just do some stuff.
Yeah, we can do that.
Something to entice them in. You know.
Well, they can partake as well. We could do a ritual. We could do a really cool ritual for like maybe full moon, and handling specific situations. Could be cases or what, anything that they want to do, like freely. They can come in and join us.
Quick free tip.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of them, there's a lot of fluffy bunny people out there. They're like, oh my God, you're dealing with the devil, you're dealing with the demon. Like, you know what? You have to understand that Source created both. The Source created God. The Source created the angels, the light angels, and the demons for a reason, because they actually work together. They work together. And I'll tell you, when I delved in Santeria, I delved in many types of other traditions, Wicca and all that. That really, that really, I didn't see work happen until I conjured up Azazel, and everything changed. Everything changed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my first ex, he was with a chick, a second wife, and she was just a heinous looking thing. I thought she was on heroin. Seriously, like, what the hell you dragged this from? You dragged this out of what? Out of what? And she was trying to, like, she constantly threw in my face, oh, your kids don't want to talk to you. These are my oldest two, and that he ended up having custody over years ago. And she would just kept throwing that in my face. So finally, after so many years, I did all this type of magic, nothing worked. The moment I freaking did a pact with Azazel, she was freaking gone. Not like disappeared or any of that, but what happened was she ended up taking all the money that my first ex was making, and she took that money and was paying her ex-husband that was in jail and prison, the same one that beat her ass.
Wow.
So he found out, so that was even better. He got to see the betrayal happen, like he betrayed me. The woman he left me for, that was a lesbian that wanted to get with me, but I said no. She left him 8 months later, but that wasn't due to Azazel. That was his own karma. But the moment I conjured up Azazel, everything worked out. And I'll tell you, my first daughter finally contacted me out of all these years. I haven't seen her since she was 4. She finally contacts me on Facebook, and she says, oh, we can talk. And I'm like, now you can talk to me. But I was very sour for a while. You know what I mean?
Right.
I went through a lot of hell. And then after that, you and William and I, all 4 of us, we did some serious magic to my first ex. And you know what? He lost both his parents. Within, like, the first was the mother, who was the controller. And then a few years later, the father. Now and they were the ones that bought him the house, bought him the car, you know, bought him jeans and anything he wanted. Now he doesn't have that support anymore. So you know what? Don't fuck with us, folks.
Mm.
We know our shit, and we
You know
don't.
what? Don't forget about the other one of the oven blowing up in that guy's face.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Oh, should I tell?
Boom.
Should I tell that story? Hen? Yeah, I believe some guy's face got blown up.
this was briefly when we were
Set
selling
my
one of our
demons.
yachts, and then this guy was just like dropping down the money all the time, basically trying to rip us off. And then
Yep.
I went down the day after he agreed on a price, and then he wanted to drop it down even more. And then obviously we agreed on a price eventually. Then I went back with that money, and then obviously my wife had turned around and says, well, if he's trying to rip us off, you know, then whatever. She was, I don't know what she was thinking, but when I was on the bus, she was talking to me, saying how mad she was.
I conjured up all my I conjured up my spiritual meeting, the spiritual team,
Yeah.
demons, angels, I don't give a shit. I conjured all of them up.
And then by the time I got down there, I went to his restaurant, and I found out that he wasn't there. And one of his workers had said, oh, well, him and his wife has gone to the hospital. I says, what, really? He says, yeah, the oven in the kitchen exploded.
Exploded on his face.
And it blew his ass across the room. So I thought, are you guys pulling my leg? He's not only trying to rip us off, but he's trying to be freaky here. He's trying to, you know, like pull out the deal or something. And so I thought, okay, which hospital? So I was contacting his wife. I sent her a message, and she said the same thing. Oh, well, you know, we've had a bit of an accident. I says, what hospital are you in?
Mhm.
You know, because obviously me thinking, just to make sure it's for real, that you're not trying to pull out the deal. They says, oh, we're at this hospital. I says, do you mind if I come up? See if he's okay. He says, yeah, come up. So I went up, and lo and behold, when I got there, he's like, he had some hair on his head, but he lost all his hair on his legs, his arms, half his face.
Singed.
He was all singed and lathered up with all this white cream from head to toe.
Red like a freaking lobster.
Red like a lobster.
We have photos of that still. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
Photos somewhere.
tried, like I said, he tried it on, but you know, I knew something was wrong. But I said, if he's not doing something right, I said, protect my husband now. And I
Well, when you
contact
sent me
everybody.
that picture, it sent me the picture of his face looking so shocked because he's laughing. I died laughing. I was laughing for at least 15 minutes straight.
Yeah, she literally blew his ass across the room.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know, that's how we handle things, folks.
But when you think about it, I mean, it's common sense when you're dealing with an oven, a gas oven, right? Everybody knows you don't leave the oven, the gas knob on while you're going to get.
Right.
You know, they always get the flame first, ignite it, then you turn it on. I mean, he works in this. It's his restaurant. He's the owner, so he knows how to do it. So that particular day, this is what happened.
Mhm.
So it's not as if he's just like not right in the head, because he is an intelligent kind of guy. After talking to him for several hours on a few days of the viewing of the boat, and you know, getting
They were trying to try it on.
know them.
Well, see, they were trying to try it on because they said, well, this is what you do. Give us a boat, give us a key, give it to the lawyer, and then we'll pay you. Like we're gonna be that stupid. And so I had fun
Wow.
I had fun with his ass. And something else happened. Something that just came into my head, and then it just came out. I hate that. I hate it. Think of that. It was another situation that we handled, and it was awesome. He's like, it's time to eat.
Right. Like these dogs keep wanting to, I don't know what they're wanting to do, but they're only going to get fed twice a day because otherwise they'll get fat.
Yeah. Awesome.
Can't have them looking like a super plump dog walking down the street. That won't really work well.
Yeah, but awesome. So where could well, actually I know where everyone can find Zep Tepi. You can find if you're in a serious situation like a custody battle, a harassment battle, and the cops just don't want to help you or whatever. Magic is definitely the place to go. So you can go to joannapsychicadvisor.com, joannapsychicadvisor.com, and then you can click on services, and you'll be able to find Zep Tepi there, her information, her email. I'm gonna put her phone number on the blog to contact her, and she's in the Ohio state. Right?
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I do other types of magics as well, and there's a lot more to me than what meets the eye, but we'll have to go over that in another video.
What do you specialize in all in whole?
Communicating with the dead, working with the dead. There's a lot. I don't think I can say all of it here, but there's that. So if people want to get in contact with their loved ones, that's an option. There's other services and stuff that I'm going to be offering. There's other courses and stuff that I'm going to be offering, but and then there's also protection stuff that I'm also doing as well.
Right.
So I can't, my mind's kind of jumbled because there's just a lot going on. There's been a lot going on today. But there's that, and there's also working with spirits, working with different types of spirits. What else?
And handling
Also,
law stuff, correct? Like legal matters.
Yes, some legal matters. It can't be like super extreme or like they wait till the last minute, because usually some people wait till the last minute when it gets really bad, and it's like really stressful when you do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you don't want to wait till the absolute last minute, like giving me some time, giving me time to be able to like figure out what I'm going to do, instead of doing it frantically where you're saying, I only have like till tomorrow. And it's like,
I've had that too. Oh my God, can you do the paperwork? Oh my God, I only have till this weekend. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. Sorry.
It takes time to
Right.
manipulate the energies
You
and
jump on it
influence
now.
people through magic.
Exactly.
So yeah, working with spirits, how to tell spirits are there. We're now, I'm also, you know, we ran some of the gamut with that, and so now we've moved up even higher. We moved up to aliens now, so now we're at the alien level.
Oh, really? So you're working with the extraterrestrials now?
Yes.
Wow.
How's Paul?
Huh?
You know Paul.
Wait, what'd you say?
You know Paul. How's Pall?
Paul the alien.
Paul.
There's a movie about Paul.
Paul the alien.
Paul?
You not seen that? You not seen that movie? Oh, you gotta watch that one.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yes.
It's just called Paul.
That's awesome.
Paul.
Well, cool. So they're coming through then. More of the extraterrestrials are coming through. That's pretty nice.
Interesting.
I know you were dealing with reptilian energy not too long ago. You had a doll that would have reptilian.
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
I still have her. She's from the Andromeda star system.
Oh, okay.
There's ships out there, like the government still hides it, even though we have all the proof out there to say that they exist, because it keeps saying that they don't exist.
Of course.
Their ship runs on empathy, so it doesn't mean like empathy as in you have empathy for this person because they're going through a lot. No, that's not the type I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ability empathy. So if you have that ability, then you're probably going to be able to navigate the ship.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Lose her mind, like she can lose her mind, like my brother's ex who lost her mind. She didn't know what to do or where to go. Oh, you did something with her as well. You did something with her as well.
Yeah, I gave it some more treats.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you somewhere, like she was supposed to go see her kids in Arizona, and all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, I don't want to go. It's like she flipped. She didn't even, and then she gets on the plane, she goes there, and then she turns around and goes back.
Oh my God.
So,
like,
yeah.
Did your brother think she was like losing it?
Yeah, he's like, man, there's something psychotically wrong with her. Like he knew that there was something psychotically wrong with her, but this was intense. And I said, it's working, girl, it's working.
I just wish I could be there when it's happening, though.
Like the fly on the wall.
Yeah, we all want to be a fly.
That moment.
So we'll see. Yeah, turn the dial up even more for the other situation for sure. Spice
Okay,
that issue up even more.
Yeah, give it some chili.
okay.
Or have them find something like really amazing or someone else or something. Who knows? Better. Better looking too.
What if she like sits up in her sleep and starts screaming? Like it'll be the funniest shit ever. I think that needs to happen at least once.
Yeah. She makes me scream.
Yes, when she's sleeping and just wakes up screaming or
Yeah.
weird stuff happening, like she gets drug out of the bed onto the floor and doesn't know what's happening. And
Yeah.
you're
That'd be awesome. But we'll talk about it another time, girl. We'll talk about another time. You're kind of public.
okay. Right.
All right, Chica. Much love and light and darkness. And everyone, if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more coming, especially when we're going to start interviewing a lot more magicians out there. Just to let you know that magic is real. It's not bullshit. It's not this hocus pocus stuff that they put on Hollywood. It is really freaking real. So, but people have to wake up to realize their own sovereign potential as being the magicians that they are. They can't just run to certain things or lawyers or whatever. When that fails, what do?
Everybody has this equality inside them because we're all born with it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to learn how to harness and use it.
Exactly.
That's it. And
Yes.
this obviously is the school that's going to teach that.
Yep. Definitely. So
Yep, I have to put courses up in the prices and all that. It's just everything's been so nuts and crazy, but it should be smoothing out here soon. I mean, it already started to calm down because we were in that Mercury retrograde. So
Yeah. Got to go through March now. March is kind of chaotic in itself because of
it's March Madness.
That's what they call it.
March mania.
March mania. All right.
Yes, March Mania.
Have a
Bye.
good day. Take care. I'll see you later. All right. Bye
Okay, you
for
too.
now.
Bye.